I'm here trying to wrap my mind around the upcoming changes to home inspections in Massachusetts. Beginning October 15th, a buyer will not be able to waive their right to a home inspection as part of the negotiation process. It's not something that happens often. 90% of transactions that I've done have had a home inspection. But the way that the law is written, I just find it almost infuriating. I'm going to read an excerpt. A seller will no longer be able to accept an offer to purchase from a prospective purchaser or an agent thereof who, in advance of the seller's acceptance of an offer, informs the seller, either directly or indirectly, that the prospective buyer intends to waive in whole or in part the prospective purchaser's right to a home inspection. So let's say I have a house that has a failing roof, and I have a contractor who specializes in roofing come look at it for himself. He looks at the roof, and I'm there representing the seller, and I hear him say, "Oh, I don't need to have the roof inspected. I know how to fix this." That could be construed as waiving the home inspection in part. If I accept an offer for them, the way that the law is currently written, I'm opening my seller up to liability by having them accept that offer. Even if there's nothing in writing, if I'm there and I hear it. Just doesn't make any sense. Most of the time, I want people to have home inspections because it's good for everybody involved. I just wrapped up a property where during the home inspection we discovered substantial rot in the basement, and there was some renegotiation that went on. The seller never lived in the house, and so he didn't know, and it was completely, there was nothing that he was trying to hide, and when it came up at the home inspection, he was more than willing to take care of it. In 8 years of being active in real estate, there was one time where I recommended that a seller not allow an inspection. This was back in 2020 during COVID, and I was representing a seller who was in serious tax debt to the IRS. He had buried his head in the sand, and the federal government, even during COVID, was less than 30 days from taking his house. This house was a beautiful waterfront that he had been building since 2008. He had done about 90% of the work on it, but never got a certificate of occupancy. So it basically had to go to a contractor who could close out the permits. Because he only had 30 days to sell, it had to go to somebody we could guarantee would close it, because the federal government does not mess around. As you can imagine, this attracted all sorts of bottom feeders, the usual suspects. Should that buyer have had the right to a home inspection to renegotiate? The house ended up going to a respected local developer, but he did not have a right to a home inspection, and he had a massive deposit that would have covered the cost of the IRS debt. So yeah, what do you think? Let me know below. Do you think that all buyers should be required to have the right to a home inspection? Do you think that the way that I'm describing the law is a little bit too draconian? That directly or indirectly, if I'm there listening and I hear something that they don't intend to do an inspection, should I be required to throw that offer out, even if it's the only offer that the sellers receive? Let me know below. Thank you.